Well, it was an extraordinary police investigation. From the moment Allison Baden Clay was reported missing, detectives launched this investigation. Took them 60 detectives, 1,500 lines of inquiry and thousands of man-hours, but soon police had enough evidence to charge Gerard Baden-Clay with his wife's murder in June 2012. Well, one of the men who helped this investigation along the way, Commissioner Ian Stewart, joins us now. Commissioner, good morning to you. Congratulations, first of all, on what was a brilliant investigation.
Thanks, Carl, and just an outstanding bit of police work by a very, very large team.
You know, just having a look at some of the details that have emerged this morning, right from the start, from that initial call that Gerard Baden-Clay made. We'll give viewers at home a listen to this. I want to get your reaction and get a chronology of events that happened after that, if you will. Let's have a listen to that phone call that Gerard Baden-Clay made to announce that his wife was missing.
I don't want to be alarmist. I tried the 131 number, but just went on forever.
Yeah.
My wife isn't home. I don't know where she is.
So what, as a result of that, I think it was Indooroopilly local police went around there. What happened from that initial discussion that they had with him about his wife?
Carl, I think that this is a great example of what police have to deal with on a day-in, day-out basis. From that point, we put into place a whole range of strategies to look at the facts that come from that call. Now, these calls, as I said, they come in every day. They don't ultimately always result in a tragedy, as we had in this case. But the reality is our people take this seriously. Every missing person call is taken seriously by our people. And a whole range of strategy, starting from the first response officers going to the house and talking to the people who have reported the person missing.
So initially they got back, they told their supervisors that they were a bit sus on this bloke. And then I think he was brought in for questioning, or someone went out and saw him, and almost straight away the scratches on his face were discussed. This is some of that recording as well. Take a listen.
Gerard, I have to ask this question. Those two marks on your face could be consistent with having been scratched.
Yes, I was asked that
this morning.
No, it's not. I cut myself shaving.
So you have, in essence, there a very strong gut feeling from the police, as well as some evidence like that. But putting this all together, from that moment on, how did you do that?
Look, one of the real challenges, Carl, is not to become so focused on one person or one set of circumstances. We've got to have a very broad view of all of the facts that are occurring at the time. And that's what our officers did. They obviously moved into the search phase because we were looking for someone who was missing at that stage. And in parallel, our detectives were already starting to gear up with our forensic teams to try and gather as much evidence as possible to determine what had occurred.
And look, it is difficult too when it's only circumstantial, as you know, and that's why there was such a dossier of evidence that you did compile. You even went as far as bugging Allison's coffin. That's the report in the Courier Mail today. Can you confirm that's what happened and why you would have done that?
Carl, our job is to gather all the facts wherever those facts may be, whether they're forensic or from telephone intercepts. Whatever that means. I'm not going to discuss particular methodologies, but I am absolutely delighted in the way that this investigation was undertaken.
Given the circumstances here in this case, were officers confident, given the weight of circumstantial evidence, were you confident, or was there still a degree of nervousness about moving into this trial and even up to the verdict?
Carl, success for us is that we're able to put a brief of evidence, a professional brief of evidence before the court, so to allow the justice system to take its course. What happens from that point is up to the system and to the jury. I am just very, very glad that we were able to put up a very comprehensive and professional brief of evidence so that people the prosecutors, the judge, the jury could all dwell on that, and ultimately we got the result we did yesterday.
Commissioner, this went beyond normal investigations too. I was listening, I was riveted to the radio yesterday afternoon in Brisbane, listening to some of the accounts from police officers. Some of these police officers, some of whom went around and were actively involved in the search around here in Brookfield. Some of those people came in on their holidays to try and search for this woman. And at the end of it all, once they had their man, they talked about having almost developed a feeling of knowing Allison Baden Clay. That's how personally investigators took this case.
Carl, you're absolutely right. It happens in these big cases where they're drawn out, where police are working almost 24 hours a day, round the clock, trying to find the person or trying to find those pieces of evidence which will help us understand what occurred. It's natural that some of our police get quite involved emotionally in these events, and they, as you said, we actually have to send people home at times. We have to physically tell them to go home and have rest, because they are there trying for the community and for the families to determine what occurred. This is a natural arrangement, but at the end of the day, our key investigators have to remain aloof from that because they need to be very objective and consider the facts as they find them.
Well, from those initial investigations, from that initial call out, and from those constables who did that all the way to the very top, this investigation has been quite extraordinary. Well done to you and the team, particularly I know Indooroopilly CIB. They should be very proud of themselves and all the police involved. Thank you for your time today, and we'll talk to you very soon.